Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from this month's sponsor, Ethico.
If you're a compliance officer, middle managers are crucial in getting your programs from you to your frontline employees. But how do we activate those managers and get them on our side? Ethico's new Middle Manager Toolkit equips you with the skills needed to empower your managers, to promote a culture where ethical behavior thrives and employees feel empowered to speak up. Learn how to turn frontline managers into ethical leaders with our new white paper, Empowering Middle Managers as Ethics Champions. And did I mention you can get the whole toolkit for free? Head to ethico.com to download the full toolkit today.
If you're wondering about what you can do if you find yourself in an FCPA compliance action, check out the FCPA Survival Guide. It's my latest book. It's sponsored by Ethico, and in it, I take up and write the top 10 things you can do to reduce your overall fine and penalty if you find yourself in an FCPA enforcement action. So check out the FCPA Survival Guide. The Daily Compliance News for January 13, 2025, the Can't Sue the Zoo edition. And we begin with that story from Reuters, which reports that elephants cannot sue to get out of their zoo. Colorado Supreme Court ruled, yes, 5 elderly African elephants at a Colorado zoo will stay there after the state's highest court said animals have no legal right to demand their release because they're not human. And it was a stunning unanimous decision. Next up from the Financial Times, Business Insight column by Anjali Raval, who said that CEOs need a mindset shift on growth, as government officials often target business leaders who complain the right incentives don't exist. But when the corporate brass might want to take a look closer to home to figure out what is happening. The confidence to make bold decisions, even during tough times, is critical to corporate growth. But taking risk in the face of uncertainty has been harder in recent years as executives struggle with the never-ending upheaval. So you need to have a long-term growth, and you need to be able to make decisions based on that. Next up in a story from the BBC, Ukraine has detained the Army's chief psychiatrist for his illegal enrichment, aka bribery and corruption charges related to his earning of more than $1 million accrued since the start of the Russian invasion. The man sat on a commission deciding which individuals were fit for service. Gee, I wonder how that could have come under bribery and corruption. The article had a stunning picture of $152,000 US dollars of cash found in his home when he was arrested. And our final story comes to us from ESPN, which reports that Leite, an ex-Everton footballer and a Chinese football coach, has been jailed for bribery. The former coach of the Chinese national team received a 20-year prison sentence. He once played in the Premier League of the aforementioned Everton, and he was found guilty of leveraging his position to receive bribes in court. So more corruption at the highest levels of world football, both in the Premier League and in China. At the start of this podcast, the sponsor for the entire Compliance Podcast Network is Ethico. Well, Ethico has a great new offering this month for you, a toolkit for middle managers. This is something that you, as the compliance professional, can use to move your compliance program forward by giving middle managers the skills necessary to answer a call for speak up or when someone comes in their office and raises a concern. I can't think of a tool that will be more valuable for you in the current era of enforcement. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.